The warning came too late. Kael caught the glint of metal through the zone's twisted foliage a heartbeat before the first shot rang out. The hard light bolt sizzled past his ear, close enough to singe his hair, and suddenly the impossible landscape erupted with hostile signals. Multiple resonant signatures detected, the fragment announced urgently. Hollow collective classification confirmed. Ambush. Sable's hard light barriers snapped into existence around them, golden energy crackling against incoming fire. They've been tracking us since the perimeter. More shots hammered her defenses from 3 directions. Through his enhanced perception, Kael counted 8 attackers, no, 10, spreading through terrain that shifted and flowed beneath their feet. The Hollow Collective had turned the zone's chaos into perfect cover. Ghost disappeared mid-stride, phasing out of reality just as a resonance blast tore through where she'd been standing. Her voice echoed from somewhere invisible, flanking positions northwest and southeast. They've got us boxed. A conductor emerged from behind a gravity-twisted tree, his constructs forming a rifle that fired concentrated hardlight rounds. Sable matched him shot for shot, her barriers reforming faster than they could be destroyed. Sparks of golden energy lit the alien twilight like a deadly light show. "Ren, get down." Okafor shoved the engineer behind a crystalline boulder as return fire scorched the air above them. His sidearm was useless at this range, but his tactical experience wasn't. "They're herding us toward the depression." Standard pincer formation. Luca moved with mechanical precision, his archive-consumed mind processing the battle like a chess problem. Enemy positions calculated. Optimal counterstrike vector identified. He pointed toward a cluster of backwards-growing trees. Weaver discipline confirmed in grid 7-7. Vulnerability window, 4 seconds. Sable's hardlight spear materialized in her grip, blazing with concentrated energy. "I see him." The spear flew true, punching through the Weaver's hasty barrier and sending him tumbling down a slope that bent reality around his falling form. One down, but more signals flooded Kael's enhanced perception, reinforcements arriving from deeper in Hollow territory. "Suggest tactical retreat," the fragment advised. Enemy numbers increasing exponentially. But retreat meant leaving the convergence point, abandoning their only chance to understand what the entity truly wanted. And with the barriers weakening, with hunters pressing against dimensional boundaries, they couldn't afford delays. "Kael." Ghost's voice materialized beside his ear as she flickered back into phase. "Your signal pulse. Can you track their positions?" He closed his eyes, extending his fragment-enhanced senses through the combat zone. The pulse rippled outward, mapping hostile signatures through layers of twisted space. 12 confirmed. 2 more approaching from the ridgeline. And his eyes snapped open. Something else. Something stronger. The something else announced itself with a resonance blast that shattered Sable's primary barrier. A figure in Hollow Collective tactical gear stepped into view, but their abilities registered as wrong, too powerful, too complex for any single discipline. Fragment signature detected, the fragment confirmed grimly. Mirror classification. Hostile intent confirmed. Fragment 5's host moved like liquid shadow, their form shifting between multiple dimensional states. When they raised their hand, reality itself seemed to bend around their fingers. The mirror wasn't just copying abilities, it was reflecting the entire battle back at them with amplified force. "That's not possible," Ren breathed from behind his scanner array. "The readings are off the charts. Multiple disciplines, overlapping frequencies." His words were cut off as the mirror host's attack struck Sable's position. Her barriers held, but the strain showed on her face as golden light flickered and dimmed. Ghost phased through 3 attackers, her corrupted abilities glitching as she tried to stay intangible. Each flicker left her more solid, more vulnerable. "I can't maintain phase." The zone's interference is getting worse. The battle raged through landscape that defied comprehension. Gravity pools swallowed hard light constructs. Resonance blasts created temporal echoes that repeated their explosions across multiple seconds. The very air sang with competing frequencies as hollow and core abilities clashed in the zone's twisted heart. But there were too many of them. Too much firepower. Too much coordination. One by one, their defenses failed. Sable's barriers cracked under sustained assault. Ghost solidified at the worst possible moment, taking a stunner blast to the chest. Ren's equipment sparked and died as resonance interference peaked. The silence that followed felt like held breath. Hollow collective soldiers emerged from impossible hiding places, their weapons trained on the survivors. But it was their leader who made Kael's blood freeze, a tall figure in unmarked tactical gear who moved with familiar precision. The leader reached up and removed their helmet, revealing features that made Okafor go rigid with recognition. "Hello, Idris," said Commander Elena Vasquez, Okafor's former partner from his fragment-bearing days. "We need to talk."